Hi, I'm Maggie Lake, your host for this special UN Global Compact series, Financing a Sustainable Future, CFO Insights. You'll hear from the chief financial officers who are part of a special task force convened by the UN. They are using their platforms and influence to reshape the future of corporate finance and invest to help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and build a resilient future. This is CFO Insights. I think financial institutions and banks play such a critical role at this stage. So, talk to me a little bit about what role do banks and financial institutions like yours play in promoting SDG investment and financing?
So thank you, Maggie, for the question and for for having this opportunity to talk to you. I think, in short, banks have been financial advisors of our clients forever. This has been our primary role. And I guess going forward, if we're not able to advise clients as well as in financial aspects of their businesses, but also on climate aspects of their business. So in other words, if we don't become also climate advisors, we won't have clients anymore, because markets, capital markets especially, will be shut for them. So we need to use our expertise, our mobilization, the quality of our people, the capacity of our staffs to understand and advise our clients on what they should do to contribute to a net zero world.
That's absolutely spot on. I think for the advising, the knowledge sharing is so critical. How are SDGs factored into your lending portfolio?
Well, I think Brazilian banks have a peculiarity which helps us a lot, in the sense that banks in Brazil have always incorporated SDG standards in the underwriting of credit, because we can become liable, for example, for crimes committed against the environment. And that's an aspect in Brazilian legislation that has been there for decades. So the underwriting process, where you select the credit opportunity, you evaluate the returns, the risks, always incorporated a risk analysis around environmental risks and about also social risks. So we've always had some capacity to incorporate technical aspects on environmental impact when we select credit. What we have been doing is take that level of analysis, of analytical capacity, to a whole different dimension when we incorporate not only the analysis of the risks, the technical risks from a legal perspective, but also a more wide view of the environmental impacts and benefits that the financing that we provide create. So we have now the capacity to look at projects not only from a risk perspective, but also from an opportunity perspective. So with that, we can help clients navigate through the options they have to finance their business and to become more capable to access financing for them going forward, be it from our portfolio or from capital markets.
What market innovations show the greatest potential for accelerating change in the region?
The crucial point going forward is how we can create market infrastructure that will help funnel investments to opportunities. I think it's a huge opportunity. There's a lot of capital that needs to be moved so that the companies that develop technologies, or so that companies can develop technologies and put them to use. And on the other hand, there's loads of investors that are now looking to put capital to work. And so the market infrastructure is, to me, as a financial company and speaking from the perspective of a financial advisor, putting up that infrastructure and we call them voluntary carbon markets. So developing voluntary carbon markets that allow those capitals to flow to the most efficient mitigation or sequestration opportunities. That is the main thing that I guess banks and financial institutions around the world should be scratching their heads and trying to get going.
And this is where I think you play such a pivotal role, because that needs to happen before we move forward. How do you manage sustainability in your timberland investments, for example?
Yeah, so we've always done investments in basically in growing eucalyptus and capturing and raising capital to invest in forests is a business that we do for a long time. We are one of the largest, probably the third largest asset manager in that space, managing timberland assets. But most of the investments that we did were brownfield investments. So basically we bought existing forests and we managed the existing forests, growing gradually more trees and serving the industries that demand eucalyptus for their production processes. We are now going into a second step, taking that business to manage greenfield projects. So we buy cattle land, we buy land that is pasture, and we grow trees. And that creates a much more powerful sequestration impact, because as you grow the trees, as you grow the forestry mass, it sequesters much more carbon than the management of existing forests. And by doing that in the right way, you should also be able to emit an amount of carbon certificates that should also increase the returns for the investors, and with that, create more opportunity to raise more capital. So that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and this is where the business is going to.
And how important are these new partnerships and these new collaborations like the task force and others that are out there, both private and public and across industry?
I think they are fundamental because we have no time to waste. We cannot waste time. So as I explained to my 11-year-old daughter, no, the planet is not dying, but yes, it has some fever and we have to act. And the biggest players on that space will be the corporations, that's for sure. The point is that innovation takes time. Companies will gradually realize by themselves their impact to the environment, the impact of their activities to the environment. Markets, consumers, all of them will gain awareness, would naturally gain awareness over time. But we don't have too much time. So all these initiatives like the CFO Task Force and other initiatives are very important to amalgamate knowledge, to display knowledge, and to help us act faster. So when a company, for example, showcases their path into the improvements they've made to make their business less impactful, more or let's say carbon neutral, when a company showcases that, it helps other companies move faster.
Thank you for watching CFO Insights. For more information on the CFO Task Force for the SDGs, you can head over to www.cfotaskforce.org and share your insights on social media using the hashtag CFO Task Force. Don't forget to tag the UN Global Compact @Global Compact. We'll see you again soon.